Residents, man. I can't wait to get this show going, man. I can't wait. I'm like rubbing my hands like the mad scientist on this one, brother. Oh, man, we're going to have some fun tonight, man. Thanks for coming down here with me, man, all the way on the mountain side of things, brother. We in the central time, man. You way over here on the mountain, but not even the mountain. You're on the Pacific side of things, man. Shouts to Pacific timers. Sun's still out. Y'all still having fun out there. Well, hey, I mean, listen, man, look. We got the Xbox showcase coming. We got a date. We got games to talk about. We got games in general. But it's funny how everybody else seems to be struggling out here. And you hardly even hear anything about it. The pampering is at a level 9,000. Nintendo Switch, fan base is going ballistic over the price. Is it going to be affected by the tariffs? Is it not going to be affected by the tariffs? You got PlayStation still getting remasters, and you see PlayStation out here still can't get no subscribers, and then you see games still failing to operate better on the Xbox than they can't run their games better than the Xbox. And no matter what they try to do, they're having a hard time making PlayStation Plus appeal. And right when you thought it couldn't get any worse, y'all, they're attacked by these tariffs and the damn prices on PlayStation Plus are about to go up. I got my man Resident Gamer in the building, man. How you feeling tonight?
Good, famo. I'm ready to talk some good gaming news, and we got a lot to talk about because there's been some big headlines lately, especially with Nintendo, right? But you know, the big focus today is going to be the showcase, the big talk there. I'm excited for that.
Oh man, I'm excited too, bro. So what? I'm just gonna say this, man. Does Xbox have the games or what?
Oh, do they ever, bro? Oh my gosh. See, I told people, and I wasn't on your podcast yet, but I was on another friend's podcast. We were, once the ABK deal was closed, and they were kind of running a little low speed, you know, in 21, 22. They didn't have a lot of, you know, first party exclusive or a lot of really Xbox related games. But then shortly after the ABK, then they started doing the double directs where they had the showcase, and then they would have a direct specifically for the game that was launching that year, the big game. There, I think I would like to call it the big game. But yeah, definitely, bro. Their vision, remember, was the first party every quarter. In order to achieve that, they had to acquire a certain amount of studios. I'm sure they did the math to determine how many studios they would need to make a certain amount of games to have those games run out a calendar schedule that they have lined up. I'm pretty sure they have things planned at least until 27, if not 28. But now they're hitting it on strides, famo. They do have the games for sure.
I'll tell you what, I got CBH 4 God in the building. I got Dolomite in the building. I got Swaggy D102 in the building. And upon that, y'all, hey man, the Switch 2 got compared to the base PlayStation 4. Man, let's go.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What?
Resident.
Go potty. Go potty.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got a
My
direct.
bad, guys.
Live and
Forgive that.
direct
That was my
moment.
dog.
Uh-oh. Hey, Resident. I'm going to kickstart it off first by saying I was right about the Switch, man. But there was one thing that I was wrong about. It's just a little bit less powerful than the PlayStation 4, bro. And the crazy part about this, I know, and let's just keep it for real. Shout out to my man Dolan Knight in the building. Chat Pat in the building, man. I love it. I love it, man. Let's start out right here. Let's give him some love.
I honestly thought it was going to be a little more powerful than that, to be honest with you.
Famo. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and I hope everybody tunes in on Di-RRec Gaming out of the chat pack community. Listen, I just want to say this, man. If you come from across the waters and you make us international, we are always grateful. We're always grateful. Come on in, join in if you've never been a part of that family. That chat pack is beautiful, man. We will love to hear y'all's voice. We love to see y'all's intellect. We love to see y'all, man. We represent the voices that have no platforms. We represent the streets. We represent the Xbox community to the fullest, man. But if you're just a real gamer, you want to come in here and discuss games on just a real gamer scale, you're more than welcome to get a seat as well. Make yourselves at home. Look, I didn't think, man, that the Switch 2 was going to be this played out. What I mean by that is I hope that it was going to get some new technology. And it did. I hope that it was going to be at least 4K. And it's trying to reach that. The features, it's bad out here. The features are bad. They're literally 12 to 13 years behind on features, man. And the fact that it's a hybrid, I thought, man, that Nintendo was going to be serious this go around. I really did. But they're not serious. They're playing around with the fact that they can get by doing minimum stuff because they want to Jedi mind trick everybody into thinking that, you know, they're just all for the children, and it's just a Sesame Street concert. It's nothing serious. But like my man Dr. Vaca just said, all signs pointed to it being a 2013 device. That's it, man. I don't know how else anybody could have said it better. When we saw the features, y'all, all the features pointed to 2013. He is dead correct. He bullseyed it. And that, I think that really he bullseyed it. And I think that a lot of people were shocked at the fact that Vaca, that they sat here and made fun of Xbox, man, left and right in 2013. From the DRMs to the features to whatever, to it only being about movies. You know what's funny? Movies and TVs, right? Movies and TVs. And then, TV stations and all this other stuff. Everything but gaming. But when you fast forward today, all you hear out of the PlayStation camps are sitcoms and series, movies, anime. The last thing you're hearing is video games. When you're looking over there on Nintendo, you're seeing the 2013 Xbox features. That's what you're seeing. And what's crazy is that you don't hear a peep out of the media. You don't hear a peep out of the media. The media is not talking about how bad this is. And then, chat, the worst of the worst came out. They literally Don Matrick the Switch 2. When it's all said and done, they pulled a Don Matrick. You know, we knew the price would be a little bit too high for most people. And we knew that it could be where they couldn't afford it. So that's why we're keeping the Switch 1 around. I'm like, golly, man. And then when you thought that got bad, they postponed the pre-order. And then when you thought that got bad, they come out with this comparison. And they said that the Switch 2 is comparable to the vanilla PlayStation 4. You want to know what makes that horrible, y'all? Is because now they're admitting that the Nintendo Switch isn't even a mid-gen console. This is sad. It's not even a mid-gen console. They were better off saying that it's less powerful than the Series X, and they could have left it at that. Because
so it's worse, Famo. There was another thing that came after that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're now confirming that the frame rate and resolution are not going to be really good at all on the video, like the game sharing, like the video sharing with your friends. Like some people were saying it was only running like 6 to 10 frames per second or something like that. Very, very low frame resolution. And Nintendo confirmed it's not going to get better with any patches or any upgrades. Like it is what it is. That's what they were saying. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's bad. I'm just now hearing that. That's bad, man. I was rooting for I was rooting for their chat. I was rooting for the little camera because I understood it. I never looked at Nintendo to be big tech, but it was a step in the right direction, right? But from what you just said, man, this is horrible.
Let me find the article.
Yeah, put it in the chat pad if you can. If not, pass it to me and I'll put it in there. So they can see it themselves. We cannot let Nintendo get a pass right now. No more can Nintendo get a pass no more. You stepped in the ring of the adult prices. You went above 500, and this is what you get. You don't play around in the 500s. You don't play in this department. You can play in the $299 department. You can get away with all that little silly stuff that you've been doing, but now that you're stepping it up, and you're not growing your games. Your games are still kiddie, but you want to charge the grown-up price. Everything is it looks like a miniature PlayStation. Sony with the $10 upgrades and adding cost to things that don't really need to be adding cost to. It just seems like wherever they can nickel and dime, they got to make it. They got to nickel and dime, and Nintendo is horrible right now. They said that the price of the console was not a result of the tariffs. I believe them on that point because the console was done last year. But to act like tariffs didn't affect them, I don't believe that. That's why I believe the pre-orders got held back because of it. I do think they did some changes, might have looked at some things, and they're realizing that they can't go above this $499, $450, they can't go above it. So for them to come out and say, hey, look, the tariffs is not going to affect the price of the console with the bundle will still be $499.99. That, I mean, what else could they do? That's the best thing they could have done. Because right now it's just horrible. And okay, here it is. Here's the article, y'all. I'm gonna send it in here for y'all to see too. Let me copy this real quick, and I'll put it in here real quick, so you guys can get a hold of it as well. And here you go. Okay, so this notion that the price isn't gonna go up, it's not gonna be affected by the tariffs. I think that was a good decision to come out and be vocal about that. Some of the bleeding needed to stop, and that kind of stopped some of the bleeding. Stop the bleeding in the arm, right? But I think the damage is done. I think the Nintendo fans' voices are not being heard. I mean, it's not really nothing they can really do about it. But this goes back to what I was saying. There's times when you can defend your preferred console, right? Shout out to my man Bonnie. Shout out to Mike Johnson. Shout out to everybody that's in here right now. You can defend your console. I have no problems with people defending their consoles. I have no problem with people playing on other consoles besides Xbox. What people like to do with their gaming is their business. It doesn't offend me. But real gamers are going to be critical about things that don't make sense. And when you see things like getting paid for upgrades, you shouldn't defend that. That's something that you shouldn't defend. That's whack. An upgrade shouldn't cost you anything. And then I'm just now finding out like stuff like this. Like right when you think it can't get worse for Nintendo, I found out today like the what is it? Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2 will not have the DLCs. But they're going to charge you full price for the game. See, it's stuff like that that's hurting Nintendo. And it's to me personally, it's looking like Nintendo isn't this money-making machine. It's not, because it's looking like they're cash grabbing. No, most of the time when you see cash grabbing, it's desperation. They put this console together, but it's 13 years behind. It doesn't appeal. Everything is a bought situation, from the chat, I mean, to the camera, online, upgrades. That's enough. You already got them over the $500 mark. You need to pump the brakes. You got them at $80 a game. You got them at $80, $79 a game. And everybody wants to play nice. Everybody wants to still try to play nice. The media is still trying to be quiet about Nintendo. It's bad, bro. Like, nah, it's time for Nintendo to catch some of this smoke. It's time for Nintendo to catch some of this smoke. Microsoft has been catching this smoke for the longest. PlayStation is guarded by the gaming media because the gaming media is PlayStation fans. But right now, PlayStation is looking like dog shit with no games. Everybody knows it. They can't seem to get any games out. Ghost of Yotei will be on the Xbox Direct show. I'm looking for that game. And I'm looking for Death Stranding 2, the two PlayStation games that I think are going to be on Xbox Direct. I think Xbox Direct is just going to take over everything. It's just going to take over everything. Microsoft doesn't have to be afraid of nothing. Put the games out. Let it be known you're going to have some third-party games. Let it be known you're going to have some Game Pass games. Let it be known you're going to have, you're going to have games like South of Midnight where they're on Xbox and PC. And go about your business. I mean, I don't know why Xbox fans feel intimidated when PlayStation fans say, "Oh, I can't wait to see these Xbox games on PlayStation." Well, we already know you're not buying them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Xbox games come over to PlayStation. I'm not buying them. We already got the first memo. Okay? Doom is a niche game. Doom has always been on PlayStation. It's always been a third-party game. Not a big deal. Indiana Jones was kind of a big deal because Xbox wanted to be exclusive, but Disney honored the contract deal prior to Microsoft's buyout. And so, hey, Microsoft can't do anything about that, but let that go. You have PlayStation with Ghost of Yotei. Resident Gamer, I don't see a game after that And I don't even think they're going to go crazy over that game. Honestly, I don't think they are. Do I think that game is going to flop? No, I don't think it's going to flop. I think that's going to be one of the most successful games so far for the PlayStation 5. That's my opinion. Just because they're so thirsty and hungry for a game. But these third-party games are just excellent. They actually take your time away from these so-called exclusives. We got some great third-party games coming out, and they attract more. Mr. Keeman says there's no guarantee that Ghost of Yote will come out this year. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I must be missing something. So you're telling me they don't even have a release date for this game? I thought they least or
no, there's no release date, but there's a rumor that it's June.
Man, okay? So we don't even have a confirmed window. We don't have a confirmed window. Are you serious? I thought it was, dude. I thought it was late spring. I could have swore, bro. I could have swore that they said this game was going to come out like in April or May or something like that. I really did, bro. I'm not trying to be funny. I thought that game was coming out like not far from now.
I think it is because Sony showcased it and Death Stranding too. I think they're going to be their two big games this year.
But Death Stranding, okay, but we're gonna take Death Stranding 2 off the table because we know Death Stranding 2 is gonna be multiplayer. We know this. It might be a timed exclusive, but that's just the way it is. With that series, I mean, they had the first one.
Well, then they don't have anything else really.
This is what was it? One of the games. Okay, Insomniac. This is crazy, dog. Y'all, this is crazy stuff. I really thought that game was coming out soon. I really did. That threw me off, man. That really threw me. That's bad, bro. That's bad. Damn, Sony, you worse than I thought. Okay, so that's crazy. But check this out. Insomniac is obviously getting tired of people asking about Wolverine, and I don't understand why. Because here's the thing. You got to keep that same energy. When y'all first was creating Wolverine, all you heard was Insomniac running their mouth. You couldn't shut Insomniac up. They were talking all that shit. And then the next thing you know, the game gets leaked. They get hacked. You know, because when Sony's got enemies, and when they start running their mouth and pissing people off, them hackers come in and they do their job on Sony and shut Sony up. Well, they leaked Wolverine. Come to find out, Wolverine looks like dog shit. It played like dog shit. The PC community grabbed a hold of it, was playing it. And now, when all of that happened, they covered it up. They said, you know what? We're going back. We're going to work on some things. And then you don't hear nothing. You hear you hear them say, well, you know what? There's some things that we're going to do. There's some things we're going to work on. And then you don't hear nothing. The game had a 45-second trailer, and there hasn't been a trailer since then. Wolverine is probably the worst situation out of this whole generation. We're talking 45 seconds. I will say the second worst one is State of Decay 3. That's pretty bad. We haven't seen anything other than a concept. But at least we've seen a concept. At least we got a concept. But yo, we try to Mike, we try to give everybody a fair share of the smoke. But when it comes to the media, PlayStation don't get no smoke like that. They don't get no smoke like that. they give Xbox all the smoke. Xbox gets all the smoke. Nintendo gets no smoke. PlayStation gets smoke when they can't hide from it anymore. They try to come out, but it's fake. You can tell it's fake smoke. It's not even real. You know what I'm saying? They get off of it, but they don't. The thing is, right now, Xbox is doing a good job by feeding the industry video games. You can't hate on Xbox right now because Xbox is feeding the industry, but PlayStation isn't in a worse situation than Nintendo. Nintendo's right now is at the worst. It's not looking good at all. Damn, Ghost of Yotei, you got Ghost of Yotei with no window release. You got Insomnia getting pissed off because fans are asking what's up with the damn game, which they have a right to. What else is going on? Damn, what else is going on? We got we got Assassin's Creed Shadows running better on the Xbox Series X. I mean, that's not new news, y'all. Like, we got to stop acting as if Xbox doesn't have the superior console out here. I mean, you don't have to like Xbox to know that. You just don't have to. I mean, it's not. That shouldn't even be anybody surprise me. I mean, it's
unless you're a donkey,
right? You just want to hate, but come on, y'all. Like, we got to stop this. I mean, the games moving forward should always play better on Xbox right now, and it's not going to seem like it's going to change on the next generation. The PlayStation Plus price hike is incredible. We're flowing tonight. Look, it may not be a 3-hour show tonight. This might be real easy tonight, Resident Gaming, because this right here, just when you thought Nintendo was catching the heat, Nintendo backed up off the tariffs, they bobbed and weave. Sony isn't, and this isn't a good look because look, and I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with everybody. The tariff situation it's not good. Okay. I don't have to, like what PlayStation offers, but to see anything getting hit by these tariffs right now, I'm not co-signing for that. I'm just saying that now PlayStation is in the line of fire of the tariffs, and they're directly affected. The only thing that I can say right now is that the PlayStation fans right now really wasn't buying all into the PlayStation Plus, and that makes it even worse because they're not buying into it. They're dropping out of it, and then they got to raise the price. So I don't know how this attracts them to even want to buy it in the future. I don't know what's going to happen, Resident. I mean, serious, man. This isn't a good look. What's your thoughts on it, bro?
I don't know, man. What do you think?
Not good, bro. This isn't good moving forward.
No, I know. I mean, especially given, they're trying to compete, right? At least you would think they want to compete. But this is all boils down to, and we know it too, because we started this generation in 2020, right? Jim Ryan was in power. He was making all the decisions. He went to all the first party studios and said, hey, let's turn each of our properties into a live service game. We need to have sustainable revenue. We can't afford these big bloated $300, $400, $500 million. I think Spider-Man 2 was like what, $405 million projects, and they're either barely breaking even or they're making a very small profit off of them. Not enough to keep sustaining their business and making more of the same game. So they knew that. So Jim decided that, hey, let's try to turn these studios who've only known how to make one type of game for their whole existence, pretty much, to then turn around and make a completely different style of game. One that was not only good game, but also a successful game, and keep the attention of people to bring them in constantly over and over, like Fortnite, for example. And lo and behold, that's not such an easy task, right? Because we saw there was an article that came out that said that basically, dang it, lost my train of thought. That they weren't actually interested, or they actually had a lot of pushback because they didn't really have any experience building those type of games. They really didn't want to go that direction. They had their own plans of what they wanted to do next. They wanted to continue making the same single player cinematic experiences that they're used to. So even though they were pushing back, they still agreed to try, right? Because we did see attempts from different studios to try to make these games. We saw the Twisted Metal, right? We saw the Last of Us factions, right? For example. So, and you could tell that it did not go well because Sony and Bungie were doing. Bungie didn't do all the games; they only did specific like games. They would like the factions, for example. But they oversaw the quality of the games. They saw the progress of the games, and it was clearly not something to them that would pull players in for a consistent amount of time. Somewhere along the line, whether it was the gameplay or the fun factor or those little not microtransactions, but those little things about it that kind of the player camaraderie, the type of magic, chemistry that a game has that keeps pulling people back in, right? It seems like they just couldn't find that with these games. And it could have also been other factors as well, like the development wasn't going well, they weren't liking the direction. But clearly they canceled a lot of those games. It was clear that they saw the writing on the wall that this wasn't going to work out as what they planned. So that's why we saw later on after that they completely pivoted once Jim Ryan decided to retire. There's a lot of theories about that. People think that Sony didn't like the way that Jim Ryan took them in that direction, and then he didn't follow through. He kind of just, it seems like he left them high and dry almost in a way, the way he left. Because maybe he didn't want to take the heat, or it was under the table forced into retirement kind of deal, which he denied. He said he was planning retirement, but he didn't like to travel, right? So that was the one thing that he hated the most. I guess one of the interviews he had mentioned that he doesn't like to travel a lot. And during the ABK deal, he was traveling quite a bit, and on top of his normal travel that he does. So anyway, what I was getting at is basically this leaves them in a crutch, right? Because they spent all that time and those resources into trying building these live service games. And these games, as we know, they take 5, 6, 7, sometimes even longer to make. And Sony can't wait that long, right? The fact that they went that route and they had to do a complete 360, that means all the developers, their studios, they had to start all over again on the next project. Doing so, it's going to take another 4, 5, 6, 7 years potentially. So that leaves Sony in quite a bind in terms of their first party schedule, because now they have to rely on titles that didn't get canceled or that weren't live service, like Sucker Punch game, and also heavily on third party games and timed exclusivity deals with other games. So that's what they're kind of using now to backfill the hole, the big gap that they have right now. And this isn't looking good, because we're talking about like they're going to start having the same output that Xbox had during the Xbox One generation, where it was only like 1 or 2 first party a year, maybe 3. So very out of 12 months. So, and we saw like how people react to that, right? Because we all love our third party, but also if the first party has a little bit of appeal too, people get pulled in that as well. So yeah, definitely not a good look for Sony for at least for the next 3 years before their studios can start getting those new games out. But this isn't good for them. This is a great opportunity for Xbox, and they're doing it already. They're releasing good, high-scoring, quality games over the course of the year, one at least every quarter, and they really need to capitalize on that. Not only deliver that, but potentially deliver more games. Give people all these choices, right? Give them the deals, right? Give them the Game Pass that is too sweet to offer, right? Because people are going to get bored, right? If they're not heavily invested in just all third party, if they're on PlayStation, they want to play first party, they're going to be waiting long periods of time. Like they're going to play through Ghost of Yotei in like maybe 2-3 days and beat it and be done with it. And then they're waiting another year potentially for the next one, or maybe 2 years. Who knows right now with Sony? But you could see it too, Famo, if you've paid attention to their last 3 to 4 showcases. They haven't shown anything. They've shown 1 or 2 games, maybe 3 first-party games. It's all been multi-platform or timed exclusivity deals, like Wukong, for example, Black Myth Wukong. So if Xbox continues on its trajectory now and it delivers more games and they make Game Pass more appealing and they continue marketing more, I think this will be good for them to try to really kind of out-muscle Sony and potentially pull in more subscribers. Because we saw recently, it was reported that Game Pass has now surpassed 45 million subscribers, Famo. And this would be a good opportunity to take advantage of Sony's weakness right now. And especially now that people are pissed off at Nintendo, this is better. There could be no other time where this is a better opportunity for them to take advantage and show them, like, this is a different Microsoft. We got the games. We got good games. And we're here to keep delivering those good games to you. We're not like the competitors. You know, really show them in that regard. But no, Famo, I think this is a bad look for Sony. And I think if they don't have a showcase this year, at least, I mean, not in summer, they probably will. Maybe May. Maybe sometimes they like to do it before the showcase in June. So if they do show something there, I think people are going to be expecting more than what they've been doing. And if they do the same thing they did with the last showcase, I think people are really going to start to get pissed off, or at least turned off by Sony a little bit, and maybe start to think, hey, maybe Xbox isn't so bad after all. They've got a lot more games, right? But that's just my thoughts on it. They're not in like deep trouble, but they're definitely in trouble if they keep going down this path. What do you think?
First, I want to say shout outs to Engage Artist 207, man. Thanks for stopping by on Di-RRec Gaming, man. If you like what we're about, brother, subscribe to the channel, share and like, leave some comments below. But I'm mostly glad that you're up in the chat, in the mighty chat pack community, man, putting some words out there, brother. We love to see that kind of stuff from people that we normally don't see all the time. So thanks for gracing us, man, the way you've been. Make yourself at home. Shouts to my man Spidey King in the building. Xbox for the win. That's what I'm talking about, man. I know what he's doing out there at the post office, man, doing his thing. He's always representing the Xbox Cloud features, man. And we love that about you, man, because a lot of people don't really talk about how good the Xbox Cloud actually performs. And you've always been a good advocate about that, especially when it came to the handhelds. So I know you can't wait for the premium Xbox handheld, so you can showcase that. G-Man, I heard you loud and clear, my man. And that's what I'm talking about, the reality stuff, man. So you passed your insurance license exam, man. Great job, brother. I hope that you get a good career going into that, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Because with that, man, you can make some good money and you can really certify yourself for that next Xbox coming out, man. But yeah, shout out to G-Man for that, man. We're glad everything's going good in reality world for a lot of y'all. Engage Artist says Sony is just as anti-consumer as Nintendo, just not as blatant. Exactly. Look, I was gonna Resident, you did a fabulous job of your points that you was making. I want to kind of change a little tune on some things and look at some things in a different light, right? We're talking about Nintendo first, people, and how much clout Nintendo gets around the world. I mean, their clout is ridiculous. Let's not act like Nintendo's clout is not ridiculous. It's clout. For them to be getting the type of feedback that they're getting right now is just definitely not a good look. We right now in 2025, right now in April, the gaming community is supposed to be, I mean, the whole gaming world, the gaming universe is supposed to be on another highlight because Nintendo just dropped this big announcement about the Switch 2 and everybody's supposed to be happy. That didn't happen. I want you to pay close attention to me, Chat Pat and Resident Gamer, where I'm going with this. Because this is good stuff. So if Nintendo dropped the ball on their hype, I mean, literally, they dropped the ball on their hype. So if they drop the ball on their hype, you got PlayStation out here who had a flunky state of play. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. You had people calling it a 0, a F. I said 3 out of 10. You know, it was just a disaster, bro. The state of the play that Sony put out was just garbage. So there's no excitement there because we saw what the donkeys were asking for. We saw it. Not one thing that they asked for appeared on that state of the play. Not one. And now you got everybody scratching their head about PlayStation. And then, well, of course, you gave it a 10 out of 10, Mike. We're not talking about that.
Mike, John.
God, you know, Mike, if you wanted me to really believe you, you should have said I gave it a 20 out of 10. I would have believed you even more. But it was a multi-plat state of play. It really was. And listen, Engage Artists, they're just having a hard time with understanding that there's nothing really wrong with that, right? But there is something wrong when you do your own show. When you are doing your own show, and I think even Mike Johnson can agree with me with this. Mike Johnson is a PlayStation fan. Nothing wrong with that. I don't care that he's a PlayStation fan. He enjoys PlayStation games. Play on. Play your PlayStation games.
Yeah, that's cool with me. I just don't like PlayStation. You're cool, Mike.
Yeah, I don't have no problems with Mike playing a play. I'm not going to go hunt Mike Johnson down on social media and make fun of him because he's playing a PlayStation. As long as Mike Johnson is gaming, that's all I care about. We can talk as long as he's talking about gaming and what he does. We can talk gaming. That's it. But I think Mike Johnson will even agree with me with this. And I think this is what's pivotal, right? This is what's pivotal. When Mike Johnson hears about state of play, right? A PlayStation fan is looking to see what PlayStation has in store for the brand. And Mike Johnson, if I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. Talos Reed, what's up, baby? When I hear Xbox Showcase or
What up, Talos?
Or Xbox developer direct, as an Xbox fan, Swaggy, I'm looking at what Xbox has in store because these are Xbox shows. Now, the mature side of me, right? The Xbox Developer Direct show is about the developers and its direct transparency to the gamer. So This is about the developers direct show. So whatever the developers are doing, wanting to do, let's hear about it. If we find out that one of the certain games are going to be multi-platform to developers, well, that's where the Xbox Developer Direct show is for, right? Because developers make games, they want games to go wherever they want it to go. If they want it to be exclusive, then it's going to be exclusive. If they want it time. If they only want it between PC and Xbox, fine. If they want it to go on as many platforms as possible, fine. Hey, they're making the game, right? They're making the game. But we hear that, my opinion, we see those types of things and hear those types of things on the Xbox Developer Direct show. That's when you show your expansion, your wideness, your vast expanding on your platform, right? That to me is a good place to do that on that show. Let me know if I'm wrong, Xbox community. I want to know what you think and what I'm saying too. Do you agree or do you disagree? When I hear Xbox Showcase, I hear just that. I hear Xbox Showcase. So if this is going to be about an Xbox Showcase, then me as an Xbox fan, I'm lining up to see what Xbox has in store for me. It's a little bit more personal, a little bit more intimate, a little bit more exclusive, right? Because it's the family of Xbox. We're here to show you what we've been doing for our fans. That's Xbox Showcase. Resident Gamer, Chat Pat, what I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to get y'all to see is this, on my standpoint. And feel free to type in if you think that I'm thinking off, or if you don't care, or if you think that I'm thinking the way you think, and just let me know. I truly think when Mike Johnson sees State of Play, he's lining up to see what Sony has in store for him. He doesn't want to go to a Sony State of Play and see games that Legal's going to be able to play, knowing that Legal don't have a PlayStation. I truly believe that. When Nintendo Direct has a show, Nintendo fans line up to see what Nintendo has in store for them. There needs to be, this is what I'm saying. Sony only has one show. Nintendo only has one show. But Xbox has two shows in 1 year. Because Xbox has a Developer Direct show, I think that is awesome. I think that is the best thing that Microsoft could ever do. Because when you give it over to the developers and when they're able to talk and show where their games are going to go, it hit different. It hits different. You can't argue when somebody creates something and they want to put it wherever they want to put it. You can't argue with that. Now, I want people to, hey, agree with me or not. I want to hear your thoughts. But when I move on from that, from January or February, early in the year, and it's getting close to summertime, and Microsoft is doing the Xbox Showcase, I really don't want to hear anything outside of Xbox as an Xbox fan. The hype right now is all about Xbox. If we're going to be about other platforms, then finish out this year. Next year, I don't want to hear nothing about no other platform next year. Next year is the 25th anniversary of Xbox. 2026 should be all about the Xbox family and nothing else. A resident gamer just has difficulty. He'll be back. I think it should be a very exclusive year of the groundbreaking effort, hard work, and gaming community of Xbox. I think it should be a very special occasion, right? The Xbox Showcase should come out swinging. Now, I'm going to be mature about this because I'm honestly thinking that there are going to be some third-party games. There are going to be some third-party situations. That's just me. I just see it because Microsoft is a big-time publisher now. That's just what I think, Doc. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But, Doc, if it's going to be like that, right, Doc? I think that, no, look, go back to what Gage says. Exactly. Let's read this out because this is right. The problem is Sony made a living off of money. Facts. They've had several big IPs, but money has caught up with them. Developers don't want to be held down. Times have changed. Now, this is spoken from a real, true, mature gamer who has learned how to adapt, because we're going to have to adapt, y'all. And that's, times have not just changed for the developers, but times are changing for the gamers. Now, to go back to what Vodka was saying, Xbox also does shows for Paradox and Warhammer for your facts. Metroplex Gaming, what's up, famo? G-Man says 2026 is going to be about the next generation. I'm getting to that. Exactly. I'm going to get to that, okay? I'm going to fulfill that. What's up, Metroplex? So if they're going to do this, they can either do it in two ways. Either you start out showing your Xbox game, showing that it's going to be on multiple platforms, but slap it at the end with Game Pass. You slap it with the end with Game Pass. You make a mark saying, hey, listen, but to our fans, boom, they want on Game Pass. Boom, they want on Game Pass. Boom, they want on Game Pass, right? Then you can either end your show with showing just the games that are going to be on PC and Xbox, because let's just be for real. Exclusive content is just dead, almost dead. Nothing really just is going to be just on a console. So PC is usually the alternative. So it's either PC, Xbox, show those games. Show those games. And I think that if Microsoft does that, you know, I'm serious, y'all. And like I said, let me know what you think. But if Microsoft does it in that way, I think Microsoft is going to have a fabulous year in 2025. Even though I know what's going to take over 2025. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to take over 2025, just like Call of Duty did. The last 2 months of the year, it blew everything out the frame. And I understand that with Grand Theft Auto 6. I get it. Everybody that's got their high hopes for your game, get your game out before Grand Theft Auto 6. Because if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out around your game is dead. It's gone. So get it on out. Get it to where you think it can hit as many people as it can before Grand Theft Auto 6. But that's just my opinion. I think that Microsoft is in a good position right now to be able to execute and showcase what they're doing with their games, when they're going to drop these games, or what's their window projection of these games. I think they have a perfect opportunity to showcase their future. Starting to lead up to certain things, let people know within a year or two, these games might be are coming in the forecast. Just get your games on out of the way, Xbox. Get ready for the Xbox 25th anniversary in 2006. Listen, the 2026 year should be Halo, Halo Infinite campaign continuation, Unreal Engine 5, Gears of War E-Day, Perfect Dark, Fable, Forza Motorsport Update,
State of Decay 3.
State of Decay 3 reveal. Like, we need something.
Famo, what about that new 007 game from the Hitman team?
Okay, listen, anything that's new that we haven't seen, I'm all down for that. So that's 7. I'm all down for that. I'm not gonna argue with that. Call of Duty 8. What else, man? Look, I don't want to kill it off to where it's getting crowded. I think that right there is a solid 25th anniversary year. On top of some special consoles, some special controllers, sales on storage. You know, the thing that I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking, Xbox community, chat pat. I'm thinking it's time to get ready to get the hype of the Series S and X, start phasing it on down. We're not getting rid of it. I understand that's going to be the second console that will be on the next generational list, but phase it down. Let's start phasing it down and let 2026 and up be about the next generation, because let's just be for real. 2026, they're going to have to start talking about this next Xbox. Resident Gamer, they're going to have to start talking about this next Xbox, man. We don't have that much more time. We're going to have to start talking about it. Well, I mean, what y'all think? I mean, 2026 is the year to talk about it. So get all your exclusives, get all these. I said exclusives, but get your exclusives. You get your exclusive titles, your pillars.
I think they will talk about it, and they will launch it in 27.
Right. That's exactly right. Make your games a talking point for the Xbox Series S and X. Push hard on it. Keep it within your community. This needs to be a special moment, a special time, and then you can get back to what your vision is. But anniversaries are special moments for the fan base. I mean, for the ones who love each other, right? The Xbox and the Xbox fans, look, they got love for each other. This is an anniversary. We're celebrating. Usually, even in reality, when people have anniversaries between the two loved ones, right? You have an anniversary and you have all these people around. It's a moment that's shared between the two people who are in love to have their anniversary. I think that's what the anniversary should be for the Xbox community. And then at the same time, start venturing into talking about the next generation, because what? Everybody's got 2027 in their eyes. 2027 is the next Xbox. It's time. I look at how things are going right now. Xbox is in the best position to do something great for its brand, and it hasn't been in a great position in a very long time. Microsoft don't need to mess up. There's great opportunity. The fans we're all hyped up. We're all feeling good because you've been delivering these games for us. We haven't had a want or a need for video games. You're doing a great job there. Finish strong, Xbox, and don't let up. Just stay your course. Keep yourself consistent. And man, I think that Xbox can really do some big things on this next Xbox. If it's done right, they're gonna appease a lot of people, a lot of gamers. There's a lot of people that don't know the features in the community that we know. They'll finally be able to see just what we've been seeing all these years. Be able to come in and join with us. And you never know, man. The next Xbox just might be the second greatest Xbox, or it might be the first one. It may outsell the 360. Who knows? Because we're looking at handheld and console this time to go around. You never know. The only thing I say is the way Sarah Bond sounded, the new Xbox is nearly done, and they know what they have. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's on its final stages. But no, Resident, what do you think? What do you think from what I just said? What's your thoughts on that?
I've already touched on it, Famo, but
no. I'm talking not that. I'm talking about what do you think as far as how I set up the anniversary? That you think that it should be just solely the anniversary for its community, but at the same time, forecasting the next Xbox and getting us ready for that. Do you agree with that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be good timing to do it all around the same time. Get people excited, get the build up going, get people to look forward to it. Incentivize them, and maybe throw away an incentive. Maybe like that same day drop like a new game or like a shadow drop, or potentially maybe some DLC for another game, or like some sort of freebie for the gamers to show them like, hey, this is the 25th anniversary Xbox. Here's also an Xbox theme for your Series X, or let's push out a nice update, to celebrate, something to, kind of show the gamers how much they appreciate them, be customers and be true to the brand, and also maybe just some of the veterans, some of the gamers who've been in it for a long time, maybe show appreciation there. But yeah, no, it would be perfect to kind of line it up like that, get the hype going.
I agree, brother. And before we get out of here, because we're really killing it, man. We're moving good on time. I knew this wasn't going to be a very long one, but it had to be done today. Resident told me, man, we got to do a show today. We got to do a show today, so we doing it. What Mr. Kima said is kind of interesting to me right here, Resident. I have an easy question to the chat pad and to you. What are your thoughts about AMD, and do you think that Microsoft should partner back up with AMD? Are you happy with what AMD was able to do this generation, or do you want Microsoft to look more towards Intel? The whole situation with the Intel thing, are you hoping that there's a possibility that maybe Microsoft lets Intel do their thing by incorporating their chip into the Xbox? What's your thoughts on that, man? And chat pad, y'all's thoughts on it too if you want to chime in on it. I'll show y'all's thoughts. It
kind of makes sense to me. I think that could be another way that they could stand out apart from from Sony, at least, is not use the same chipset. That could give them an advantage, especially with the advancements that Intel has been making with their graphics chips. This could put them over the edge of AMD. Not only that, maybe incorporate even better features than they have now, or improve upon the features that they've already got built in. This is going to be, I think, a game changer for Xbox, for the hardware and everything. This is going to take the system to the next level. Do I think it's going to be in Prime? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so. My guess will be it'll be in the. I want to say, I'm probably going to say it's probably going to be their final console after this one. I don't know if they'll do another one after. The one after Prime. I don't know if they'll. I'm using the code name because I don't know what it is yet. I don't know if they'll definitely have one after that. I'm going to say they're going to have probably 2 more consoles, and then they're going to go like fully cloud, or a singular device that could plug into your TV, or the TV itself, where you don't need a console at all. It's all ran through the cloud. But my guess is it's going to be in the one after this one. We could be surprised. I think for their current status, they're still going to stick with AMD because they're still incorporating the next FSR, FSR4, and they're going to be incorporating a lot more AI into the system, potentially hybrid cloud gaming as well included. Meaning, what I mean by that is where you're playing a game, and I think OD might be the first time we get to play a game like it, where the game is using like resources from the cloud and also from your hardware, from your console. So it's basically running parts of the game through the cloud and then the other parts of the game through the system, right? Just imagine that potential. And I think that's what OD is going to be. I think it's going to be because Kojima even said it, if you guys remember, he said He wasn't able to do this game before because the technology wasn't there, and Microsoft is giving him this opportunity to do something he's never been able to do before. So he said he was really excited about it, which, as we know, gaming is going to start to slowly progress to that point to where the hardware is going to become less and less relevant. Once the internet improves more as time goes on, and the infrastructure improves, and the cloud servers and cloud technology improves, we're going to get to the point where the hardware is going to play a very small part, if anything at all. But I think Microsoft is going to be the first ones jumping in, Famo. And no, I don't think that chip will be in the next console. I think it's going to be in the iteration after that. Do you think it will be?
I'm with you, man. And shout outs to Andrew Wilkins, bro. Shout outs to Andrew Wilkins. Thanks for coming through, man, tonight. I think it will be, man. I think, because let's just be honest, man. Microsoft right now doesn't have, I don't think they don't have another chance. All right. They don't have another chance. It's Microsoft. They came in as a newcomer in the 2K era with Xbox. Phenomenal, reception. 24 to 25 million sold within the first 3 to 4 years, right? They immediately brought out the 360, and it was an instant hit. It was on fire. 360 changed the way we played games, changed the way we game chatted. I mean, everything. If you didn't play during the 360 era, you missed the golden era that was the golden era of online gaming. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And Microsoft was the leader of that. I mean, without Microsoft, we wouldn't have none of this stuff. None of this stuff. Everything that you see as far as the community aspect in console gaming was influenced by Microsoft and the Xbox brand. Oh, real quick. AMD next generation GPU called you DA. The AMD next generation GPU called you DA his server GPU technology. Yo, Mr. Keenan's on some other stuff, bro. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. But that's my boy. He on break that shit down, Famo. Box, what's up, Famo? Baby Step releases in 2025. That's facts. They do have Baby Step. They do have Baby Step. We forgot about Baby Step. But no, Resident. I don't think Microsoft has any more room to play around. Or nobody, I think the fans we don't care about specs. We don't care about terms like this is going to be the greatest leap in technology. We don't care about that. We want results. The Xbox community just wants to see results. Put the results out there and let us talk about the specs. Let us be the one to brag about just how far off we are from everybody else. But
you think this will finally be the generation, Famo, where we have a huge advantage in performance over Sony?
Over everything. I think over everything, because think about it. That's what I was trying to talk about earlier. Nintendo, out of everybody, Nintendo just missed their mark. They messed up.
They're 7 years behind still, Famo.
Even longer than that.
You're right. No, it's more like 12 years behind.
Right. We're looking at Nintendo dropping the ball, right? The media are PlayStation fans. The media really doesn't have nothing to talk about because PlayStation ain't putting nothing out. There's notice when you look at the articles now, look at it. They have nothing. Because they're hypocritical if they do. This is the same gaming media that ragged the hell out of Xbox in 2013, 2014. Matter of fact, it started in 2012. They were shivering in their drawers, bro. They were shivering in their underwear because they were so scared that the Xbox One was just going to take off because of how the 360 did the PlayStation 3. The 360 just did the PlayStation 3 bad. It is so bad that let me tell you how punkish they are. They are willing to lie and say that the PlayStation 3 beat the 360. This is how bad they are when it comes to losing the Xbox. Everybody knows that a console sales war ends when the very next one comes out. It ends. We don't do the lapse continuation. When the next Xbox comes out, whatever the Xbox Series S and X has done, it stops. Now we know they'll still be lingering around, but it stops. It's about the new one and moving forward, right? When the Xbox 360 ended in 2013, as far as when the Xbox One came out, it was beating the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 didn't surpass the 360 till like almost 3 years later. 3 years into the into the Xbox One console life. And then when it did it, oh, look, it beat the, come on, man. Like, I don't know how y'all do it. I just can't be that goofy and corny in a community like that, man. Like, somebody needs to turn the lights on and be like, look, man, y'all need to chill out being so corny. Look, Xbox beat us, and let's go. Let's go. Let's get back on our fight, and let's do what we got to do to reclaim our glory. That's how it is. PlayStation isn't impenetrable. It's not something that it hasn't never been beat before. But if you go to an average donkey, they just act like PlayStation is the golden tier of gaming. It's not. It never has been. But that's the thing. It never has been. Has PlayStation had some good ones? Has it had great console sales? Yes. Yes. Nobody would deny that. But to sit up here and act like PlayStation was the greatest gaming console ever to ever exist on God's green earth, no, you're delusional. By no long shot is it that. But it has been able to create its fan base, and it's been able to stay on course and keep itself as the #1 gamer brand in the world. It has been able to do that. So with all of that, Game Resident, I think that PlayStation's lack of games, period. Final Fantasy finally being the last third-party studio to say, you know what, F this. We're not just putting our games on your platform. All these flops that have been happening on PlayStation 5, all these DOAs that have been happening on PlayStation 5, all the shows that have been lackluster for the PlayStation 5, the subscriptions dropping on PlayStation 5. So you don't see anything that's happening with the word PlayStation 5 that's increasing itself as far as value. You don't. It's just riding a popularity train. Now, when you think about, Mike, stop, man, okay? Stop. Stop, bro. Don't do that to yourself. I told you, it's okay to be a PlayStation fan. Don't start losing it. Don't start losing it on Di-RRec Gaming, bro. When you look at what PlayStation is having a hard time doing, I've been blunt about it. PlayStation has to have a live service functional game running well, and it's going to have a community running well. They're going to have to learn how to make some multiplayer games, and their community is going to have to play them. Yoshida backs me up when he says, listen, if y'all want first-party games, you're going to have to start buying these remasters that are about to be coming out for you. So this is not something that sounds good at all. This doesn't sound like something great. Sounds like somebody's having problems. Microsoft is the only one right now that seems to be riding its course, that seems to be everything is in place. Chess pieces are on the board. The moves are being made strategically correct. And once again, we're back at this point where Microsoft now is its only enemy. It's going to be up to Microsoft now whether they have a clear understanding what needs to be done. And it's very easy, to be honest with you. It's very easy. It is so easy, it's crazy. But Microsoft has a way of overthinking shit and fucking some shit up.
Like Johnson, PlayStation has won every generation.
Right. Microsoft, I hope you don't mess up like that and just mess up. But I don't mind Microsoft's vision. I don't want people to think that I'm scared of that. No, I don't mind the vision. I don't mind the expansion. But I do believe there's a time for everything. Right, Resident? Right, Chat Pat? I think there's a time for everything. And when you talk about anniversary, that's the time of that community. That's a special moment. There's only 12 months in a year. Give that all that you have. You gotta, I feel like it's important if you're trying to push your brand forward. Yeah, listen, push all your aspects. Push your console, push your cloud, and push your handheld, push mobile, push it all. You don't have to just, it doesn't have to just be about the console. Push everything about your vision next year, a part of the 25th anniversary. This is their chance. You see it. You literally see it. It's not hard to see. Microsoft is just, nothing they're doing right now is just bad at all. Nothing. It's like they're in the zone. Push mobile. I said, yeah, push mobile too. Push it. Talk about Candy Crush and all this stuff. Let's go. If you're gonna do
I think the last thing they need to do right now, Famo, is announce any price increases. So no Game Pass increase, no game increase. Game cost increase. Do not do that. That would be horrible right now for them.
Right, I agree, man. No price hikes. Hold it down. Bunker down. Tighten up. Just weather the storms. The beautiful thing about Xbox is it's self-integrated. I don't really think prices are going up. They can offset too, Resident Gamer. They can offset because they got the money to do it. But I just think they don't need to. I'm on the same boat. None of that stuff. Just keep doing what you're doing. I just think Microsoft just needs to keep doing what they're doing, man. Keeping us fed, keeping us on gaming, keeping us talking about games. Shout out to South of Midnight for your excellent story-driven Southern game and your game style with your creativity of your art. I really appreciate that game. Shout out to Valve with its positive reception. Shout out to Indiana Jones with its positive reception. And we're heading on. We're going to the next step, man. What is it? Doom is next, and people, you're gonna be being Hell's Kitchen, blowing up demons and stuff. And the next thing you know,
we actually got Towerborn first, Famo, then Doom.
We gotta play Towerborn, bro. We gotta play Towerborn
and Expedition 33. We got a lot of games.
I feel you, Dolomite. I feel you. If Mike Johnson says, shout out to Astrobot. Astrobot, the easiest non-playing game in the world, where PlayStation fans even play the game, is easy to the media, is winning awards, man. Shouts to Astrobot. The Gotti that nobody played.
Only 2 million players. Yep.
It's incredible. It's incredible how that. But that's what I'm saying. Hey, shouts to the media, man. We knew they couldn't play Black Myth Wukong. We knew that. So shouts to Astrobot, man. I ain't hating on Astrobot. Expedition 33 looks fire. Facts, man. Facts. Everybody pick a game. Over here on the Xbox, pick a game. Pick a game. And enjoy what you like. Resident, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Let's pack it up, get out of here. I think we touched on all the subjects, man. I think, hey, brother, you did a good job, bro. Let them know they can close us out, Resident.
I do want to touch on Nintendo a little bit more before we go. So we found out today, now they also admitted that the special edition of Breath of the Wild with the Switch 2 edition doesn't come on the cart itself. You still have to upgrade, even with the cartridge. On top of that news, we find out about the frame rate issues with Game Chat. it feels like they're kind of pulling a really bad Don Matrick Xbox One era right here with everything they're doing right now. Like, they just keep delivering more and more bad news, and this is going to sour a lot of people's tastes, especially not the hardcore fan base, because we know they're going to bend the knee, or they're going to kiss the ring, right? They're going to kiss the Nintendo ring. But I'm talking about the less hardcore, the PC gamers who thought they might pick one up for Nintendo's first party, because they know that Nintendo, I feel, in my opinion, has sort of a distaste for PC players because of all the piracy and money that they lose because of PC players. And a lot of the lawsuits that they've had are from PC players who basically hacked their system and emulated their system to play games. Also, people blatantly, there was a guy who openly was taunting Nintendo for stealing their games. So they've kind of had this jaded history with PC, and a lot of PC players, given that, and also given the circumstances, they're from what I've seen online, I know that's only a small fraction of gamers, but it seems like a lot of the PC players are not having it. A lot of them are already advocating for piracy, which I was talking about in a previous show that I told you that's going to hurt Nintendo's sales even more. This is way more than I expected, though. This amount of bad news. I think this might pull a Wii U, Famo. I think this might end up to where, maybe it does sell out at launch, or maybe it sells out pretty quickly at launch. But I think it's going to have a much bigger downtrend. I don't think it's going to be consistent. I think there's a lot of people, including the casual people, that just wanted to grab the system. I know I've heard a few people online say that they've talked to their families and friends about it, and a lot of them are not even going to get it, or they're said they're going to wait, which was what I was mentioning last time too. When the previous shows we talked about is like the prices were going to be a huge turnoff, and for some of the more casual players, especially like with all the accessories you have to get for it, right? And the games especially, it's also going to turn people off from buying more of Nintendo games, because they're not going to be able to afford to buy all the first-party Nintendo games. So they're going to have to pick and choose, or they're going to have to wait, which means like potentially Nintendo losing a sale if they end up not following through and buying it later on. So this is definitely not good for Nintendo. I really don't know how they turn this around. Because of their stubbornness and their traditional values, and like I was saying the last show, because they hold themselves in such a high regard. They feel like they're the most valuable video game company, and what they deliver is worth the price. So given their nature, I doubt they're going to lower any prices on their announcement. I think everything's going to stay firm. I don't think I was reading some articles today that Trump also took a pause on the tariffs. I don't think the tariffs. Well, we know now that Nintendo admitted that the tariffs had nothing to do with their pricing, right? We kind of knew that already. And they came out and admitted it. I don't think they're going to increase prices anymore for it. I think it's going to stay the same. It's just going to be a little delayed. But I wouldn't put it past them to like up the price like $50 at least, was what I was telling you last time. What I predicted is what I think they'll do. But I'm starting to have second thoughts. Maybe they won't, given the circumstances and the bad PR. Maybe they'll just keep the prices the same. Maybe they'll choose more select titles to determine what they're going to put an $80 price tag on, but they probably won't, knowing Nintendo. So definitely the worst PR string of bad news that I've ever seen for Nintendo ever. And it's kind of hypocritical and kind of funny that the media have barely touched on it, like you mentioned. Like they're so quick to dunk on Microsoft all the time, and they barely touch Sony as well, right? It's like Microsoft. Microsoft's always the kid that they're bullying, right? The little kid at school, and they're the big tall bully. But now Nintendo is kind of getting that smoke, right? And this is really going to hurt them. Like I said, in more ways than one, like their image. People kind of held Nintendo in a higher regard because of who they were, and the fact that they were the best valued console, but now they're not the best value anymore. And for what they're offering, they're not really giving you your value's worth. They're actually overcharging you like Apple does with their products, calling themselves premium. But yeah, that's what I had to say about Nintendo. I think and this was going back to what we were saying about, like, this is the time, right? This is the opportunity for Xbox to capitalize, because both companies are kind of dealing either with bad news or bad details, or a very slow first party schedule, or their own financial issues. You know, Sony's got a couple lawsuits on them right now. So this is the time, famo. Xbox, let's go.
I think you killed it, brother. And I think what's up, Jago? Shout out to the chat pad tonight, man, for coming in tonight. We appreciate y'all. Resident, you did a fabulous job tonight, man. Keep staying on course about this Nintendo stuff. You're very knowledgeable about it, and I'm glad you're continually speaking on it. You and games trailers, as a matter of fact. I mean, but it's remarkable how things are turning out in Xbox favor. As long as they play their pieces right on this board, man, things are looking like the winning circle is just being handed over to them.
They just don't need to step on the rake, right, famo?
Yeah, don't step on the rake. Don't start losing your minds. Let's do something and keep it going, because really, to be honest with you, man, Xbox executing is only going to do great things for the industry. We all know this. It's going to make the whole industry better, man. I mean, we're talking about the big tech giant here. So we want the security, the assurance, backing, not just for our platform, but we want it to be able to influence the other ones as well, so that everybody that's gaming all over the place, man, has a little assurance on where they're at, and it's not shaky. But I believe Microsoft can make that happen by just making Xbox great. Just by making Xbox great by itself is going to change up a whole lot of things. Resident, man, get us out of here tonight, man. Close us out, brother.
Oh, you want me to tell you where we could find me?
Man, and close us out.
You can find me on Twitter, Resident Gamer 0, or you could just find me on here on the podcast. We're here every week or every other week. We're going to be doing more shows, coming up with the gaming news, talking all the facts, and we're all about truth here. We just love to talk gaming, even if it's PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox. Even though we're Xbox centric, we just love talking gaming in general. We like that you guys are here. We appreciate you very much. Every time we see you guys, it's a joy, because we like to talk gaming with you guys, and it's always a pleasure to be on here, famo. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, man, you're home, brother. You're home. You know you're home. You're not invited anymore, bro. You know you're home.
Thanks for letting me be part of the Di-RRec family. There we go.
Hey, thanks for letting me be a part of your friendship, your brother, and all you guys, man. You know how I feel. So we're all in this together, man. We're gonna, like I said, I'm a fan of you guys. So hey, you guys keep us here. You guys keep us going. It's not fun unless you guys are around us. That's what makes Resident Gamer call me up and say, hey, Legal, let's do it. He be laughing, man. We got to do a show. Let's go do a show, man. Let's get out here and do a show. So it's good, because and another thing that's good is our time schedules. It's very good to have somebody where the sun is going to be out. It's harder to deal with things when everybody is on the same time wave, and when we're working and we're working hard. That's usually what's going on with my other comrades right now. Shouts to the realest one getting rest. Shouts to Game Traders working all day. You know what I'm saying? These dudes work all day. But man, as a matter of fact, it's rare when you don't see Spark 117 on here. But he had something going on today that he wasn't going to make it back within an hour. And I told him, don't worry about it, because we're pretty much ending it and not too much after an hour anyway. So, you know, these guys always showing their support. They always encouraging me to keep moving. And so we got Resident Gamer, man, who's avid, who loves to talk gaming, and we like that. We like to hear from people that like to talk gaming. And man, you're consistent, bro. You bring an energy of consistency, of love that you have for gaming, man, that we all enjoy. So we appreciate you coming out here, man. You're making yourself available to do what you do, man, and it shows, and it's great. It's fun to get on the stage, man, and hold a mic with you, bro. So yeah, man, if you like what we're about, subscribe to our channel, man. Hit the notification bell. Never miss a beat on the ones and twos. Join the magnificent mighty chat pack. Become a member. Leave some comments below. Look, man, share to your friends. Share to your families. We don't care. We just want to come out here and expand along with you. As we grow together and make this thing one bigger family, then we all shine. We're all shining, man. This is not about a Patreon. This is not no merch. This isn't about, hey, we need some money.
Not about us. It's about you guys.
Yeah, we don't care about none of that stuff. We just care about having a good time with you guys, man. This is all this is for. We're having a good time with you guys. And whatever happens, just happens. But we're fine. We just want to come out here. What Di-RRec Gaming is, what we're doing right here is we're just expanding the party chat off the Xbox. There's only so many people that can fit in the party chat, right? So we bring it over here. And this chat right here is the personification of the Xbox party chat clubs and groups. And we get in here and we have fun. Listening, reading comments, speaking our opinions and truth. And like I said, we come here with a responsibility, and we come here to do one thing and one thing only. And that's to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us game. I go by the name of the New Legal. That's Resident Gamer O. This is Di-RRec Gaming. Remember, always keep it gaming and never tuck your chain. Do not let nobody ever take the one up in your life. Every human soul deserves a second chance. And with that, we're out of here, y'all. Until next time, peace.